Alright, and let's go get started. Howdy, howdy, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Sharkinbear, and welcome to the channel, where today we're going to be checking out the early access title, The Gatekeeper. Now, this was a game that came out probably about a week ago. I'm just now getting around to it after recording other videos, so I do apologize for that. I also had my niece's graduation, but if you're not familiar with The Gatekeeper, this is a up to 4-player co-op twin-stick shooter roguelike. I would probably put it in something akin to along the lines of Risk of Rain, if you're familiar with that game. Although this one has basically a different viewpoint, as this is more of like an isometric view, like top-down view, rather than being like over the shoulder or behind the character, third-person type shooter. It also has probably a better progression system here, I would say, than Risk of Rain, in the sense that Risk of Rain had you do a whole bunch of achievements with your characters to basically unlock like better versions of the skills. Whereas this game, basically, you start off with 4 skills, and those skills level up as your character gains levels during the runs themselves. And you also find different items throughout the stages to help your character become even stronger, similar to Risk of Rain when you find those items. There's actually a database here where you can actually see all the items you unlocked, and these items right here, they're not unlocked immediately, but instead you complete challenges like die at the first location and unlock the ability to purchase this. Then you're able to go ahead and find something you're not yet purchased, and then use your little pretzel cosmic currency right here to purchase this new skill. So if I were to purchase this for 5 of our currency, we would then have this available on each of the future runs to find out in the world. So we're gonna go ahead and jump into the game. I have done probably 4 or 5 games already, just to get myself a bearing on how I feel about the game so far. I have not yet unlocked any of these other 4 characters, so maybe we'll unlock another one. I hear I might actually be close to getting this guy unlocked, although maybe not, we'll see. Because this is cumulative as far as past total of 60 locations. This one makes you basically, I have completed 1 run. I actually completed my very first run on my very first try with Hybrid, which I actually find to be probably the strongest character out of the first 2 that are unlocked right at the base. He is a ranged character, similar to a soldier, and he also has like a bouncing projectile that's really good. Knightum is more of a melee character. He's got some blades and he's got some crows, basically those little fire heat-seeking targets that basically heat-seek after enemies and destroy them. Circular throws a little buzzsaw that comes back to you, and then he's got a dash. Everybody's got some form of mobility. And then we have Pandora, which seems more of a support character because she has the ability to heal with her dash. She leaves a circle on the ground. She also has basically a shotgun burst with emission, and lightning conductor is actually my favorite skill of hers, which basically allows her to put down an AoE that slows down enemies and ticks and does extra damage to enemies in there. I've gotten a chance to use all of them. I still think that maybe Hybrid is the best to start out with, so that's what we're gonna go with. I am gonna keep it on normal for the moment, and we're gonna go ahead and jump into it. So if you like the content and you want to see more games like Gatekeeper here on the channel, make sure you're liking and subscribing to the channel, and comment down below. Let me know what you think, and let's jump into it. Alright, so I did just unlock some new trinkets, artifacts, whatever you want to call them. So basically, every time you start off the run, you have one of like 4 different objectives pop up over here. This one is simply kill the targets, and once we kill them, we'll then be able to access something called the Corium, which will allow me to teleport to the next stage. So as you can see right here, very basic twin stick shooting type premise. Obviously there are enemies that do a lot more as you get further in. My right click here for Hybrid is in fact a fireball. I'm gonna go here, hit E. This is called a gift. It basically gives you the chance to, or it gives you a free gift, basically. You don't know what that gift is gonna be. You never know what any of them are gonna be. Sometimes you get choices as to what you're gonna get, but I like to go around the entire stage and kind of clear out the enemies a little bit before we activate this, and there's a reason why for that in a second. So let's go ahead and hit this one. I'm gonna go ahead and go for Swarm Pendant here. So that says every time that we kill an enemy, I believe. I'll have to check it out here in a second. But basically, it throws down a little dilly bob on the ground that has the ability to heat seek targets and go up and blow them up. I think is it chance based? Hold on. Do I have a way to artifacts? There we go. On hitting with the first skill, okay, so there's that, an amulet. On killing an enemy, 30% chance to summon a Resectoid that attacks a random enemy, dealing 250% damage. And if we pick up another one, it'll actually be another 250 for 500% damage bonus. So I do like the bonuses here because they seem pretty strong. They're never anything like 20% strong or anything like that. The bonuses usually stack up pretty high fairly quickly. You see we have a couple of Resectoids with us. I also went up and picked up another gift that gave me 35% HP bonus, which is pretty nutty. And then we're gonna go ahead and throw this out there. That's actually probably my favorite skill that Hybrid has, just because it allows me to bounce skills and kill enemies, and then we're gonna be making a whole bunch of Resectoids. So as we play through the game, you can see over here on the right hand side of my screen, I have a evolution available for me. As you play through the game, your character will level up, and they'll get an option, or they'll get basically like 3 choices as to what you can level up. It's usually just very random as to what stats you're going to level up. You can level up health regen, maximum health, damage, attack speed, movement speed, skill cooldown reduction, that sort of thing. Yeah. Oh, looks like we have a currency over here. We're going to go ahead and pick up. And I'm going to go ahead and choose to level up my character as well. So it doesn't look like a cosmic pretzel whenever we're picking it up on the floor, but it looks like a cosmic pretzel down there whenever I'm looking at it. Before we head into the Quarium, which there's an icon down here, it's kind of obscured by my hotbar, but this is the Quarium right here. This will transport us to the next level. So what I'm going to go ahead and do is I'm going to go ahead and spend my 2 level ups here. Looks like we have attack speed, skill cooldown, and base health. I'm going to go ahead and work on attack speed. And anytime I get a damage increase, I'm gonna go ahead and take that. Hybrid is already is very strong on his base kit. I feel like he has the strongest base damage out of everybody. And I also like to level up every couple of levels. I don't know, I think it's every 4 to 5 levels. You get to a chance to increase a skill. As you see, there's 3 pips underneath the skills themselves. You can increase the that skill by a pip, and basically it gets bonuses. So we actually hit escape, go to our evolution menu. It'll show you right here what you're actually getting. So it isn't random what your skills get. So our first skill on the shells is going to give us 50% increased damage on that. Another one is going to give us 10% chance to fire an additional projectile, and then the last one is going to be damage of the additional projectile is also increased by 100%. So then we have basically all of these. I tend to go for like 1 level in Ignite. Although 2 levels in this skill might be good, but I usually max this out first since we are very auto attack dependent. Honestly, I feel like that you can do a lot of things to proc damage from your auto attacks, but then I also like to go for external bios right here and do this because number 1, it does bonus damage to burning enemies, which we can get from Ignite over there. And then it gets even better bonuses, and then the chance to launch an additional disc. So external bios is also really strong. I like to focus on attack speed, getting bonus attack, and then also lowering my skill cooldowns so I can cast even more of those external bios. So we're gonna go ahead and get this kill. Unkill, a 8% chance to leave a weakening cloud. That is really good because it also allows us to basically basically deal bonus damage. It seems to like strip armor from enemies, or at least weaken their armor so that they die much quicker. So this is another objective. This is Sell the Ancients. As soon as I hit this orb, there's going to be 3 monoliths that show up. We need to activate the 3 monoliths, but in order to do so, we need to essentially kill enemies until they drop a key. Once they've dropped said key, we're then able to turn that key in at the monoliths themselves. So there's a key right there. And I'm actually going to farm until we have all 3 keys. And these enemies will keep spawning as long as we are here for the rest of the time. They won't start spawning until you activate the Sell the Ancients on their own. But yeah, so for right now, we got 2 of the 3 keys. I'm going to see if we can go ahead and basically ricochet off those guys. There's the killing field, by the way. That's what that looks like. And now what we're doing is we're basically playing the waiting game until that 3rd key is dropped. And there we go. So I'm going to go ahead and activate this one. We also have a dash. I'm going to use that to basically lower our distance we need to cover. We got some turrets here that will track me with lasers, but as long as we keep in the movement, we should be in a decent spot. I'm gonna go ahead and throw that ricochet out there. Hopefully that should at least kill off those targets, and we are working our way to the other turret, the other monolith. Alright, so there we go, and after we've done that, we can now make our way to the Quarium, which is saying that it is over here to our bottom left. As soon as we get over there, I'm going to go ahead and activate our next skill. We'll go ahead and take a damage bonus. So we're at level 3. I'm looking to see if it's every 4 levels we get a skill pip to level up one of our skills. Alright, so we're in the next level. I believe this is going to be a boss map. So after we've completed our objective of killing 73 enemies, it looks like, I believe we are set to encounter one of the many bosses that are available in the game right now. I believe I think all the bosses are pretty much set for whatever there is in the game right now. Like, I believe the boss for this one is always going to be an enemy called the Prince. I'm gonna go ahead and bounce all these right here. And we also get a whole bunch of level ups and a whole bunch of kills with that. I want to go ahead and try to get these totems knocked out. There we go. I'm going to pick this. 50% damage to damage within enemies within 8 units of you. I don't know what is considered a unit, so definitely something to keep an eye on. We got an option here. Vessel drop from an enemy. Killed just 30% damage. Or 5% chance to release a wave of energy. I'm going to go with a 5% chance to release an energy. That's going to work really well for us, because one of the things we're going to definitely be doing is increasing our attack speed, which means that's going to proc a lot more. And it looks like on hitting an enemy with the first kill, a 5% chance to launch a projectile. And as you can see, there's the wave that sends out. Every once in a while, we'll have a little wave that shoots out. We'll be a little more cognizant of it. I'll point it out. There it goes. There's another wave right there. And I want to see if we actually have any more items that can drop off of any totems out here. You want to make sure to basically scour the edges of the level if you can. I'm going to knock that guy out. I'm going to destroy that. And I'm also going to level up. I'm going to go ahead and go with... I'm going to go do some health. And then we're also going to level up our Q. So it looks like every 5 levels is when you're able to increase the damage of your skills. So now our auto attack, our left click, our primary source of damage, majority of the time, is actually doing 50% more damage now, which is pretty good. What are these right here? Nothing? Oh, that's a character. That's where you find that. Okay, so that's the Dawn Hammer. So if we had 10 of our cosmic currency right there, we could essentially opt to basically spend it there and unlock another character. So I do know that in the future I need to basically hoard some of my currency so we can purchase those items. We got 4 more enemies left to kill. There's 1. There's 2. And I think a lot of these enemies right here are going to be the stationary kind. That's the reason why they're not able to come to us. Let's see. Base damage, 30% increase. I am going to start working on getting some attack speed and raising my health. One of the few things that I suffered for later on in the game is that there's some enemies that are able to dash to you. And they tend to, more often than not, they're able to rush to you pretty good. So the Prince isn't really a hard boss per se. You just got to stay at a decent range with him. He does do a little bit of bullet hell mechanics here. I did get hit by a couple of those. That is a-okay. Other than that, we are doing a fairly good job with him. We're going to go ahead and ping pong off of him for a second there. We are at level 6 right now. Want to make sure we stay away from him whenever he does his bullet hell thing, or at least make sure that we have enough distance closed off. I'm gonna go ahead and dash this way. It looks like we still got hit. I gotta make sure I stay out of his little AoE right there. And he is almost dead. And there we go. And now we can make our way to the Quarium. And looks like we have some currency that dropped where he was at. And now we can go ahead and clear these guys out as well. And it says our aquarium is to the bottom left of us. I'm going to go ahead and use our level ups that we have available to us. I'm going to go ahead and raise our... Let's do some skill cooldown and attack speed. Alright, so we're on to the next biome. And this is Celestium, the altitude fields. You'll start seeing different enemies around here. And again, the cool thing about this little red field, even though it's not that big, is that enemies are taking 50% additional damage for being inside there based off the level 1 artifact we got. Alright, so now we got 2 more. We can go for health regen, or on hit has a 10% chance to tag an enemy. Dealing damage dealt to the tagged enemy is increased by 50%. I'm actually going to go for this. It increases by 5% for each stack of the artifact, so base it's going to be 10%, the next one is going to be 15, 20, that sort of thing, so definitely good to have. This is another one of the objectives that we're going for. This is actually Charge Totem. Charge Totems are fairly simple. They basically activate a totem. It has a little circle that shows up around the totem, and we basically have to stand around said totem until it charges all the way to 100%. Meanwhile, you will be swarmed by enemies who are trying to get you off the little circle you're defending. Fairly easy stuff. I'm trying to get around to this artifact, or this gift that's over here, it says. There we go. So we got a 15% additional movement, which is also really nice. It's just like an additional 15%. I think by default, if we were to get a skill level up for movement, it'd only be 10%, so that is awesome. Now we have another shrine over here that's going to give us 2 choices whenever we get over to it, so that's wonderful. And we do want to make sure we're killing enemies. Like, the enemies still pose a threat, but the biggest reason is because they are giving you XP. Looks like we have on kill 30% chance to summon a Resectoid, so we got now the ability to do 500% damage with an Resectoid, or we can have Fireball spin around us, igniting enemies. Fireball recovers in 5 seconds, 100% damage plus elemental damage bonuses. This is actually not a bad idea eventually whenever we take the ping pong. You know, let's do that. I say we'd take that just so that we can go ahead and get leveled up, because I'd rather take an additional level on external bios than Whisper. I'm not a fan of the Fireball per se. We'll go ahead and activate this, and now we'll wait till it slowly counts up as percentages. But if we can avoid taking that Fireball step for a little bit, I think I'll be in a happier place, just because I can put a pip into external BIOS much quicker than I can normally. Plus, you know, the fact that anything gets in range with this is going to burn, which is super awesome. This is another facet. At different points in the pillar's lifespan, when it's charging up, it'll have different hazardous effects happen to you. So obviously one of the hazardous effects goes right now is that the fiery pillars show up. Another one might be that they have lightning conductors show up on the ground and explode around you. There might be mortar bombs that dropped on you. So there's definitely more than just having to protect the node itself, which is not too bad, because I believe that the enemy is actually subject to these ailments as well. And as you can tell, it does take some time for these turrets, or this totems, to charge up completely. So you definitely will be here a bit. As you can tell, this next one summons the current planet's rampant. I guess that's just like their way of saying elite. And all I'm going to do is keep attacking here. We are only at 10% left, but we are starting to take some heavy damage here. Luckily for us, we do have a slight amount of regen, so we will be able to complete this fairly easily. We'll come over here to our aquarium. It also looks like there is one of our little cosmic pretzels, and we're going to go ahead and go on to the next level. The good thing for us is I believe we have 2 more levels waiting for us to activate, and one of those 2 levels is going to give us a new pip to put into something, I think. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to go ahead and do some movement speed, and then I'm going to go ahead and put in another pip into shells for a chance to do an additional shot. I'm going to pause this right quick so I can take a drink of my coffee. So we're already at 25% movement speed, which is pretty nutty. And that's we're gonna start immediately feeling that, just because 10%. That's happening quite often with how fast our attack speed is going. I'm also going to go for the crit chance node here. Every time you get one of that, it's 5% additional crit chance. Let's see, reducing enemies' health. Yep. Every time we reduce an enemy's health, they're going to launch some incendiary projectiles and they'll hit other nearby targets. The other one was a weakening cloud, I believe. We're going to go ahead and increase the damage of our fireballs. Yeah. So as you can see right there, as we hit a target, you see little fireballs closing in on the enemy there. And more shots going out means another chance to trigger more of our whatchamacallit, instances of the wave skill that we have going. I am looking for something. So one of the things you can do is if you start getting skills that you're not super keen on, which in the instance for me, I'm not a super big fan of the one that says chance to do 50% extra damage on the first skill used. Not a big fan of that one. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to look for a vendor or a machine around here. And one of the levels, sometimes you'll see a hammer. That basically means that it's a forge. And you're going to trade off a number of your artifacts to reforge it into an artifact maybe you do want. Which is great, because I do not want the one we currently have. I am going to back up a little bit and let everything do its thing over here from a distance. I like being able to see all the enemies, and sometimes some of the walls can block line of sight. And luckily we only have 14 enemies left, and we are tearing through them rather quickly. We got a level up right there, that's nice. I'm going to go ahead and go with damage and attack speed. So the faster we attack, the faster we're going to trigger our crits and our wave, which is really nice. As you can see, that the external BIOS is actually fairly strong in its own right. That's another reason why I want to focus on skill cooldown and maybe putting a pip into that one first after we max out our left click skill, which is called shell, right? Shell? I think that's right. We're 3 levels off from getting another pip, and that'll be able to max that shell for us. We also got Bane Seal, so we are at 2 stacks of that. And then Duo. Duo I really like because this basically summons drones that'll also auto-attack with us. So now wherever I attack, these 2 guys are also going to attack, and they are fairly strong, and they ramp up fairly quickly on their own. And I believe they also activate their own instances of our wave skill that we have available to our character right now. It was pretty good. And we also have a forge, which I'm pretty excited about because that means I'm going to get rid of some stuff. We're going to go in with another instance of essence. There we go. And I'm going to work my way over to the forge over there. I'm going to knock these guys out right here. Oh, I'm not on the right side. We'll go ahead and hit this. And let's go ahead and activate this. I want to go ahead and give up the... Where's that? Where's the 50% chance one? Not that one. Not that one. I'm gonna go ahead and take care of this, guys, because the time doesn't freeze, it slows down when you activate this. Where's that skill at? Oh, there we go. I thought I had more instances of this. So we're gonna melt that one down. And it looks like we get a sentient talisman if we were to melt something else down. I'm gonna go ahead and melt this one down as well, and we're gonna create that, and now we have a hollow talisman, and that's fine with me. That just makes the talisman, and it basically does a little AoE around wherever it's at. Let me go ahead and take care of this guy first, as he will do a little AoE right there. And we'll do this 5%, 8% chance to leave a weakening cloud. We already have one incident, so we just increased it by 7%. And I'm gonna go ahead and hang down here where the totem is at. And we'll go ahead and activate this on our own. So we got rid of that field that does increased damage to enemies around us, as well as a skill that does I think it's like a 10% chance to push enemies away on our first attack. And yeah, we'll just work on this. And we got the new sentient, so like there's that, and then every once in a while it'll pulse and do damage to enemies, like you just saw it do right there. I can't remember how often it does it. Fiery impulse from the planet's orbit. So yeah, now let's do a little mortar fire. You can see little marks on the ground where it is targeting. So as long as you stay out of the orbit there, we should be fine. We also have weakening fields going down. So that's good. Having enemies track through that is actually fairly useful. And having more enemies show up is actually extremely beneficial to us. I feel like I do much stronger with more enemies on the field, because it's going to cause more instances of our resectoids popping up, as well as the clouds that do the weakening. Now we got rampants, so that's the elite enemies. Clear these guys out. There we go. And I love this extra damage going out just because of the fact that we got some enemies sitting in here. Ah, there we go. And we have all those resectoids. That's awesome. And now we have Quantum, the next boss, showing up right here. We should be able to take care of this pretty easy. She summons 3 black holes. And then she also teleports. And from time to time, she can throw out a little wave orb that chases after you. There she goes, and she'll also occasionally do a little shockwave herself and send out little shockwaves that we can stay away from. You can actually trigger it by getting closer to her there. But she's choosing to do the black hole instead. Oh. I'm gonna go ahead and get closer to try to trigger her little AoE. There it is. That's just buying us more time. I was really hoping we could find another one of our skills or artifacts earlier on. There's one that's insane. It basically says that bosses take or enemies take 60% increased damage when they're below like 40% health, which is insane. Looks like we also have some meta currency over here on the south end over here by our vendor. I'm gonna try to work my way over there before we head to the aquarium. We also have 3 levels to sit up on, which means we have another pip. Means we can max out our shells, which is great. So we're gonna head on to the next biome. And I can't remember what the next biome is called. I still haven't remembered the name, but I do like the fact that Purgatory 17, there we go. I do like the fact that the biomes, each stage even looks vastly different for each other. It's not the same stage, just like retiled over again. The one thing I will say is, though, that the stages that are available, they are the same. Like, I haven't seen anything, like, I've seen this same stage layout over and over again. They're not procedurally generated or anything like that. A hit on an enemy with full health launches a projectile at a nearby enemy. Don't like that. I also don't like bad mood either, but we're gonna go ahead and take it. If we find another forge, I might be tempted to go ahead and forge that. Fireball spin around. I think we're gonna go ahead and do another one of that one. I don't know if that increases the number of fireballs we have. We're also gonna go ahead and do skill hits, deal extra 50% damage within a radius of 5. I am going to do that. That is a newer one we have unlocked. I even unlocked an artifact that gives me an additional use of my 4th skill, which would be my F key, which I really hope to find. And there we go. This is the one I have been looking for. Bayonet. Enemies with less than 40% health receive 60% additional damage, and this is actually increased by 60% for each bayonet we find after that one. So that is fairly nutty. And that's from any source of damage, which is also very useful. So we're gonna go ahead and activate the Cells of the Ancient, and we are going to now fight enemies until we have all of our keys, essentially. Now, you can play this with mouse and keyboard and or controller. I will say technically, or usually, I would be one for going all in on controller, because I like doing my roguelites that are very twin stick shootery with a controller. That's just me. That's my preference. However, I will say something feels a little off playing this on a controller. I think it's because the aiming and the shooting is a little bit more precise because the bullets are fairly small compared to, say, something like Risk of Rain or any other twin stick shooter. Like, I just feel personally like that my shots miss more often than not, even when I'm aiming directly at the target. So I'm going to opt to play mouse and keyboard on this. Although if you can play with controller, you know, it's perfectly fine. It's perfectly suitable. I just feel like even when my stick is aiming directly at the target, I feel like I'm whiffing more than I'm hitting. It seems to be fairly temperamental. I'm going to go ahead and hit this, and then on the start of the next stage, we'll go ahead and use our next evolution and level up even further. Alright, so we're here. I'm going to go ahead and do some attack speed, and from here on out, I'm either going to be increasing my health regen, or my damage. I think we're fairly good on attack speed. I'm going to go ahead and let's go ahead and do bayonet. Just because as soon as we see those guys get below 40% health, you are going to see them just essentially just melt. We do have a forge right here, and I absolutely 100% want to use it. I want to see what's available to us right here, just because I'm not a fan of the skill we currently have. I'll make sure I kill as many enemies as possible. And then we're gonna go for bad mood. Where's bad mood at? There it is. Looks like we got killing a rampant pull in. Okay, yeah, we're gonna do that. Melt one, melt one. I'm gonna go. Oh, is something hitting us? Oh, something is hitting us. That is what kind of makes this hard. Is the enemies, like, it slows down time. It doesn't actually pause time whenever you're working a vendor. And I really, 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 really just want to use that forge. Alright, looks like we cleared some time. Let's see if we can get rid of something else. Gonna melt this one. Oh, that actually gave us 50. I'm gonna create another one of those. There we go. And I don't want to go for the Quarium just yet because we do in fact have some gifts around here we can pick up. 4% health or 4 health, 4 plus 4 to our regen while we are below 40% health, which is okay, not great, but it's okay, it's serviceable. Did we not pick up something over here? Did we not select? Or we can go to the weakening cloud. Let's do that one. We'll go ahead and level up. Looks like we have attack speed, movement speed, and base health. I'm gonna go ahead and increase our base health because enemies will start hitting us. And in one of the previous runs, I basically got one shot from full health. Now every character does come with a passive skill associated with their character, and it's important to note that because Hybrid, even though he's a starting character, and has actually probably got one of the best, passives early game. Because he basically gets a free revive. At any point in time, should I die, the game will automatically bring me back one time. Which is pretty good, honestly. We'll go ahead and take the regen. So now we get plus 4 health regen as well. Obviously, that's good. I'm be working on health regen myself. Oh, looks like you cannot teleport through the walls. It's good to know. Go down here because we saw an item. I'm gonna go with fireball spins because we are so close to level 20. We're gonna take our first pip into our bios, our F, our 4th skill, because that is going to give us additional damage to elemental enemies who are already ignited. Go wave of energy. any other enemies. Oh, looks like we have another gift down here. We actually get 2 more gifts at least. Bad mood. Don't care about that at all. We should see what's at the forge. We might have some items we could trade off at the forge. I might also be tempted to get some more movement here. Chance to launch a projectile at the enemy. Or an additional regen. Let's go for another regen. I think we got enough damage, honestly. Anything else will just be extra, like the cherry on top, which I'm absolutely okay with. Let's go ahead and see if we can go ahead and get rid of bad mood. Oh yeah, this is actually a really good one for us. Let's go ahead and get rid of... Ooh. I'll go ahead and melt both these down. And then let's get one more. Don't know. We'll get rid of one of these. There we go. And now we have 4 instances of that, so 20% chance to launch an additional wave at the enemies. There we go. And we'll go ahead and start working on the totem. I am going to go ahead and take cooldown. As you can see, we'll actually benefit greatly from cooldown, from our dash to everything else. We can go on the outside of this little circle here, but obviously percentages will disappear if you deign to step outside the circle for far too long. Go ahead and bounce that. Get rid of some of these enemies a little bit faster. And we're about halfway done with this totem here. And that's a lot of weakening gas right there. Taken care of. Wonderful. And there's a rampant right there we need to take care of. I so desperately want this guy to be dead. There we go. That's one guy right there. Let's get this guy down. There we go. Awesome. And there's that little AoE there that triggers from us taking him out. And now we're on to the next boss. This is the Collector. He summons a whole bunch of skulls. You don't want to get too close because he does a little AoE. But he's basically like a floating legion, like series of skulls himself. There he is. As we get him lower, we'll actually start to see his health dip even faster. Oh shit, we are in a bad place. No, no. We got stuck on a wall there. And there we go. Deleted. Easy peasy. I have no idea what these little fields do. I think they just do damage over time. And looks like we have a couple of our cosmic pretzels over here to pick up. But we have 3 level up we're sitting on as well. So we got 1 pip to level up, as well as let's see, we'll do some. We'll increase our base health. We'll take a pip into external BIOS, and there we go. I might actually start doing some points in health regen as well. And we'll head to our aquarium over here. And this will lead us to our next stage. Now, I believe, if I am remembering correctly, this is basically the last... I could have this wrong, actually. This is Aradune. Aradune, I believe this is the last wave, essentially, of levels before the levels start to reset. We'll see. I could be wrong. It might be another stage after Aradune. But we're going to do the same thing. We're going to go on the outside of levels. No enemies are going to spawn right now because of the fact that we have the Cell of the Ancient. And that doesn't activate until we have activate that cell. So I'm going to run around the outside, find any gifts we have, and then we'll activate Cell of the Ancient on its own. So we have another gift over here. And I'm going to go ahead and go with the 5% chance to crit, which brings us up to 10% chance by default. I think... oh, so we have a 13% chance total, so I believe this guy by default has a 3% chance on his own. We can do... We're going to do another level of Bayonet. That's a 180% additional damage once enemies get below 40%, which is awesome. I don't think we have anything we want to forge, but we can check out the forge to see what it's offering up. I don't think I particularly care for the skill that only happens when it says our triggers are rampant. So let's see what we have. Reducing an enemy below 50%. Launches 3+1 projectile. How much does this actually give me? This gives me 30. And we have 2 of them. There we go. I'm good with that. I don't think I'm getting much use out of the Resectoid thing. But I am definitely getting use out of this because we are melting enemies really quickly. And the Cinder Flame, basically triggering off of the Bayonet as well, is also going to cascade the effect of enemies dying really quickly. Now this is the level where I start to take increased damage myself because there's an enemy type that ends up showing up here that will in fact start dashing towards my character that I find to be fairly problematic. So we'll keep an eye out there. We have 1 key. I swear I saw an enemy run to the left over here. Where are all the enemies? And they got deleted. Those guys are fairly chunky, and we just exercised our right to delete them. Where are the monoliths even at? I don't even see the thing for them. Okay, there's one. Gonna trigger that one. We got another key. Oh, and there's another one right here. And I imagine that the other one is going to be at the bottom of the map somewhere, near the forge. Oh, there's our last key. Those are the guys I'm talking about. The ones with the little blades on their arms. They tend to suck. There we go. And now we can head towards the Quarium. Where is the Quarium? To our bottom right. Okay. Go ahead and take another level. I'm going to go ahead and do some health regen. Oh, no, it's right next to us. Nice. All right. What are we looking at here? Is this a totem? This looks like a charged totem. We'll go ahead and take every 10 seconds, a -1 second per stack. Unleash an electrical wave. Give us elemental damage bonuses. Nice. Gonna do that. I don't particularly care for it, but it's the better of the 2 options. We're gonna take care of these guys because they like to dash at you, and they don't feel great when they dash at you. 240% damage when they're below 40% health is awesome. And there's that little electrical wave that goes out every 10 seconds. Let's go ahead and activate our totem. and we'll do the best we can. This is when things start to get hectic for me personally, especially with those bladed enemies right there. They can get kind of heinous, but they shouldn't pose too big of a threat because we have been increasing our health regularly. Plus, we have a good, decent amount of health regen. We just gotta stay on the ball and make sure we're targeting them as soon as we see their faces. And we do have to watch out for those guys because they are exploding mushroom dudes. Oh shit, we're standing on top of or we're standing against a wall. It's unfortunate. Everyone within the area takes additional 30% damage. It's awesome. Scary, but awesome. %. Oh, we got chunked there very fast. It looks like we are done and we can head to the aquarium. That's exactly what we're going to do. And then we'll head on to the next level. I was thinking we were going to fight a boss, but so far so good. You know, the more I venture out, I'm starting to think that the idea of additional like health regen in a second isn't going to nearly cut it eventually, because of the fact that we're growing in percentages of our health over time, whereas I'll do that. Whereas our health per second it's only going up by a couple of digits every time. I guess we go with the Hollow Talisman. I'm not even really sold that the Hollow Talisman is all that great, but it's better than what we have. Gonna do that one. Now, apparently there is another character on this level somewhere. I believe that's the character right there. We apparently have to find some specific totems and activate them in a certain order. Oh, these must be them. No, so not that one. So we know where one of them is at. Let's see if we can activate them before we get the enemies to come along. So there's nothing there. So you know if you're activating them in order or if you're activating them correctly by the fact that they'll stay lit up. So not that one either. Not that one either. So we know there's at least 4. There's one. I'll take a Ruptor. So we got one there. Is there any more over here? So none over here. So you know if you got it right, by the way, is if they stay lit up. And I don't believe you... I believe you go back and activate them again if it doesn't work. There's one. 2. Okay, so not that. I believe there's another one else down here somewhere, isn't there? Three. And I think there's only one more. we go, and now we unlocked Echo. Echo is now a character. What does that say? It said 3 bosses up here. Weird. We're gonna go ahead and delete these enemies, but now we also have the ability to pick a 4th character. That's pretty good. Ooh, that wasn't good. We stepped right in the middle of that AoE. But we're A-okay. We got our health regenerating pretty heavily. How many keys we got? We got 2 of the 3 keys. Look how often our little wave is triggering. That's insane. Alright, now we have all 3 keys, and we can go ahead and turn this in. There's one right there. And the last one is right here. And we're on to the Colossus. This is our next boss. I don't like him. I also don't like the fact that we were just in the middle of that AoE from that enemy right there. We're in a very dangerous predicament. Ooh, we do have to watch out for those pillars that the boss shoots out, because they are not very easy to deal with. Oh, are we gonna hit it? Oh no, we're trapped. We're trapped. We're trapped. We're trapped. Oh shit. We got pincered really hard there. I'm gonna go ahead and start targeting the boss if I can. We do got to keep in mind that we do actually have the benefit of basically having a free revive on our character, so that is good to know. But I don't like this guy's initial attack where he's able to basically fireball at stuff like that. Oh, we deleted him. As soon as we got him below that 40% health threshold, we were done with him. And we are out of there. Now, I actually did pick the wrong option because I was going to go ahead and end the run there, but it looks like I made my way into a round 2 of this, which I believe I actually get another character for making it through round 2. Yeah, the Tech Hunter. We also unlocked him. But I am going to go ahead and end the video here for those of you watching the video, but that was a quick look at Gatekeeper that came out in early access over on PC. As you can see, it's a pretty fun game. It definitely has the bones of something great in it, especially when you play this 4-player co-op. I imagine that's so much more fun than if you're playing solo like myself, although I'll be honest, this is plenty of fun solo as well. I don't know what the main difference is or how enemy scaling works or anything like that if you were to play in a group, but maybe that's something I will get time to check out on my own time later on. But if you like the content and you want to see more games like Gatekeeper here on the channel, make sure you're liking, subscribing, commenting, all that jazz for YouTube. Let me know what you think of the game in and of itself. Until next time, you guys take care, and I will catch you all in the next video. Later.